As wealth grows in a family enterprise, most people assume the biggest risks are external markets, the economy, but in reality, what breaks first is almost always internal, and it is not what most people expect. As families scale from 300 million and beyond, complexity increases quickly. More capital, more decisions, more stakeholders, and with that growth, certain fault lines begin to emerge. In my experience, there are four areas people typically point to: governance, liquidity, relationships, and investment strategy. But one of these consistently tends to break first. And that first real break is governance, or how decisions are made and who makes those decisions. It breaks not because families do not care about it, but because governance often lags growth. Early on, governance is informal, decisions are centralized, perhaps with the patriarch, communication is direct, trusts fill the gaps, and that works until it does not. As the family grows, decisions become less clear, roles become blurred, accountability becomes inconsistent, and suddenly what used to be efficient and effective becomes friction. Liquidity is the second pressure point and an area that begins to show stress shortly after, because as wealth scales, so do expectations. Some family members want income, others want reinvestment and appreciations. Third may want liquidity. And if there's no clear framework, capital gets locked, distributions become inconsistent, tension builds around those who get what and when they want it. Liquidity is not just a financial issue, it is a governance issue. Number three are relationship. They have a silent but profound impact. And this is where things become a little bit more nuanced. Relationships rarely break all of a sudden, they erode slowly over time through misaligned expectations, for example, through unclear communication, through decisions that feel unfair or inconsistent. And often, by the time families notice, the underlying issue has been building for years. And the underlying cause for all of this, and the one key insight I wanted to share with you, is that typically governance breaks first because it was never designed to scale. It was designed for where the family was at that particular point of time and not where it is today or where it is going. And when governance lags, everything else follows. Liquidity becomes harder to manage, and relationships become strained. Decision making slows down. So, if you are part of a growing family enterprise or a family office, one question to ask is: has your governance structure evolved at the same pace as your wealth? Or are you still operating with systems designed for a much smaller and simpler environment? So, I'd like to leave you with this. And this is something I spend a lot of time thinking about with families. Not because governance is theoretical, but because it directly impacts decisions, relationships, and long term outcomes. If you are seeing early signs of friction or complexity, it may not be the investments, it may be the structure behind these investments. So, if this resonates, I'm always happy to continue the conversation or be a second set of eyes as you think through it.